I'm outside NRG Stadium after the Houston Texans were officially eliminated from playoff contention today. You probably thought that had happened already. Nope, it's official after a 27-14 loss to Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns. It was the first time that we have seen Watson on a football field in nearly 2 years. It was the first time that we saw Watson playing for any team other than the Houston Texans after he, of course, requested a trade. And then, of course, the sexual misconduct allegations against him that saw him settle in many civil suits over the course of the past couple of months. Now, I came for the press conference. I thought that I would be able to ask him a couple of questions. First off, if he still stands on his innocence, as he has in just about every media availability he has had when it comes to those sexual misconduct allegations. And the other was, why did he want to be traded from the Houston Texans? He said in the press conference that he wanted to be traded from the Houston Texans as a business decision. He was also asked if he felt remorse for the alleged victims. All he had to say was that the suspension was hard for him. But I wasn't allowed to ask a question. The head of Browns PR allowed Browns beat reporters to ask questions, allowed Brian T. Smith of the Houston Chronicle to ask one question, Jenny Vrentas of the New York Times, who's had a bunch of stories about the sexual misconduct allegations against Watson, to ask two questions. I had my hand raised the whole time. The head of Browns PR, I don't know what his name is, made eye contact with me. He studied my credential. I didn't get to ask. Maybe I should have shouted a question at Deshaun Watson as he left the actual podium. As for Watson himself, he struggled, looked rusty, was throwing a lot of balls in the dirt, definitely missed from a quarterback perspective the elusiveness that the guy has when he is in the pocket. As far as the actual Texans themselves and what they did, Dameon Pierce had some nice moments, but goodness gracious, this might be the worst team in Texans history. It is definitely the worst offense in Texans history. This is a team that threw a pick six and had a fumble returned for a touchdown in the game. They were 1 of 12 on third down in the first play of the game. A throw deep downfield by Kyle Allen to a tight end was intercepted on a drop. I don't know what the Texans are going to do as far as firings in the next 24 hours. I doubt anything does change, but Pep Hamilton as offensive coordinator, man, there are so many play calls you could take a look at and say, this is the reason that he was fired tomorrow. They ran the ball on 1st and 30 on the second drive of the game. When Dameon Pierce was off the field after a TV timeout and an actual timeout, the Texans instead chose to hand the ball off in a goal-to-go situation to Dare Ogunbowale. And then on the very next play, they decided to have a fullback who used to play linebacker throw a pass to him in the flat, having him going east-west as opposed to north-south. They were stopped at the goal line. Also, there was a reverse to the short side of the field. Luckily, an unnecessary roughness play turned that into a 15-yard gain. And on the fumble return for a touchdown, the Texans decided to run a quarterback sneak from their own one. Allen fumbled the ball. Disastrous performance, rough day. If you came out to the game, I feel for you. I hope that you had fun booing. It's pretty much the only thing that the people in NRG Stadium, anyone in NRG Stadium that was wearing blue, battle red, deep steel blue, that's the only successful thing that happened. Anyway, 27-14, the Texans lose again.